So today I just want to do a coffee filter, something like this, but it'll be a different shape. Instead of the two straight sides, as you can see from the outside, it'll just be a completely round one. It's a shape that I've always wanted to try. I'm just using this as a kind of reference in terms of size and what sort of height works. So I'm just gonna grab, I'm gonna say, I'm giving it a little bit extra for the shrinkage, maybe about that much. We'll say like 10%-ish for the rim, and then I guess the flat area would just be a bit smaller than that. I'm also going to try something new in terms of the video itself. Instead of cutting back and forth between the close-up and the wide shot, I might see if I can just put, maybe this side, put the close-up on the side and then just squish in the wide shot. Maybe that'll make it easier, and that's also going to make it a lot easier for me to edit. I'm just trying it out, see what happens. It might not look great, and maybe I'll switch back to it. But this way I've got the vertical shot for Instagrams and stuff like that, and then I've got this wider one for YouTube. So maybe that will cover a few more applications, but who knows? Again, give it a try, see what it's like. So this is about 750 gram. 750 gram of clay. So I'm just going to put this here so I can see it as a reference. So it's basically a disc and a cone, or upside down cone on top. I'm also going to try and practice throwing with a bit less water. I guess centering still requires a little bit more, and I'll try and use slip as much as I can. So now I think I'll center it to a point where it's about the same width as the disc on the bottom. All right, so to throw this in one piece, I have no idea how, I've never seen a video on how this works, so I'm just going to try and figure it out. But I suspect it's going to be quite similar to throwing off the hump. And I might want to leave maybe a centimeter worth of clay on the bottom, about that much. That will give me room to trim the foot ring. Yeah, so I think what I can do is, if I bring in just bring in the top and center that. The disc might be too big, but that's easy enough to, I guess, fix later on. So now I'm just gonna create a little ball. I think that should be enough. And I'm just going to center this. Alright. Try and keep as much slip handy instead of using too much water. Maybe I'll do like a little bowl on the side for a slip instead of putting it into the bucket. Alright, so just clean this up. I can always cheat later and just cut it off. And that'll be a pretty centered plate. Alright, I wonder if that's too much clay on top, but that's alright, I'll just cut it off if I need. So now I'm just going to throw a cone like I do with a plate. I mean, like I do with a bowl. So I almost want to go quite deep, don't I? In kind of the same depth as where the plate is. I think that's about right. And maybe I'll give it a flat base. That way I can have more than one hole for drainage. You open out. Maybe about there. Maybe a bit flatter. Oh, not flatter, but like just a bit bigger. Right now it's probably, about, that wide on the bottom. I think that's wide enough for the base. I'm just going to compress it. Okay, and now the rest would just be... I feel like this is way too much clay. Either I should have made that bottom a bit wider, but I think that's alright. Yeah, I think the bottom could have been thicker. That's actually quite thin right now, so maybe I'm just gonna bring it all in a touch. That way it's a bit thicker on the side here than it is out here, maybe, so it's more of a cave. So the base has gone quite wide, so I need to make sure I'm bringing in that clay. So again, just really pushing that base inwards. I guess it doesn't have to be too narrow on the bottom. The shape's getting there, but the wall's very thick because it's quite a lot of clay. So I might get it to a decent height. I wonder if I can push the clay back down. This might cause issue into the base. Just to give the base a bit more structure. Right. And that's looking all right. Just the proportion seems wrong. Yeah. I think I want to make the bottom a bit narrower. But maybe it's good the wall's a little bit thicker because it looks like it would be nice to carve a bit of groove into it, just to help the water flow through. bring in the middle part a little bit. So it's more of a cone shape. Because right now it's kind of gone, it's in and then it kind of straightens down. So that's not good. So what I might do is use a wooden rib. Just to help get that shape. That's better. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the outside. Again, it's still a lot of clay, so maybe I'll thin the wall just a touch, and then I'll trim the top off because it doesn't need to be too tall. But that proportion's not bad. It's just, it's not a very, you know, aesthetically, it's not great looking. Just gonna need a bit more water. Oh, it's gone a bit wobbly. Whoops. Just gonna slow it down. Let's figure out. Let's try and thin the wall out now. It's actually a bit thick on the top. Oh, the base has gone out. Oops. Right, I'm going to cut the top off a little bit on the early. Cut off quite a bit. You can see how thick this wall still is. It's hard not using too much water. I just feel like it keeps gripping to the hand. And I wonder if I'm using too much surface area. Maybe I just need to use the fingertips. Alright, it's getting better. Cool, so I'm just gonna straighten it again. So the shape's alright. I just need to clean up the joints. I also need to clean up the rim. It's not the straightest shape. That's alright. So, what can I do? Maybe. Yeah, that doesn't look too bad. I'm still not too happy with the shape. I feel like it's still going in and then straight. It's not, it doesn't flow very well. So I wonder how I can fix that. That feels better. It's quite big, but it's actually, I haven't even been looking at this, yeah. If my rough calculation or guesstimate is close, then it'll be about the same size as the one I've already got. I'm just gonna get a little groove down the bottom, just to guide the wire, which I always forget and I always leave it at the wedging table. Yeah. Hopefully just a bit of trimming down the bottom. So yeah, you can see that the base is definitely a bit more slanted, but that might not be a bad thing. So the inside's quite flat. On the bottom, maybe a 2 centimeter, 3 centimeter width of a flat base, and then I'll just screw a few holes in, maybe just 3 or 4, depending on what looks good. And yeah, I mean, I'm just winging it, but this looks like it's gonna work. I hate doing handles, but maybe I'll do a little handle. But I don't think you need it, just carry it normally. So that's my attempt at a coffee dripper. We'll see, a filtered coffee, I guess. I'll post a photo of it finished on Instagram, which is where usually all the finished product goes on to. So make sure you follow that at dear.ali.ceramics. I'll make sure I put a link and stuff, and you can find it for the YouTube pretty easily. Just because I don't want to wait 2 weeks before I finish off a video, I usually just do the throwing part, and then the finished product I can show, you know, in a later date, and that's fine. So thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to see more stuff like this, and